Welcome to Slendytubbies 3, the product of a joke turned into a pretty solid horror game. And like a lot of horror games, there's heavy usage of light and dark. This is especially prevalent in one of the game's most prominent weapons, the flashlight. Many horror games utilize a flashlight or torch. It allows you to traverse the dark and hostile environments you always find yourself in. However, what would happen if we were to completely strip this away from the player? Well, today I want to answer that question. How would removing our flashlight affect our gameplay experience? I want to play the game's multiplayer mode through all the maps while playing in solo collect mode without using our flashlight at all. The main purpose of collect mode is to collect custard, the amount of which can be adjusted via a slider on the map select screen. To make this challenge slightly less of a nightmare, I'm going to be setting the slider on max, 25 custards. I know this is a bit of a cheap move, so I've implemented a scoring system. This ranges from A to F, depending on how many custards I am able to collect on a map before calling it quits and moving on to the next. Here are the specifics. S, all 25 custards, A, 24 to 20, B, 19 to 15, C, 14 to 10, D, 9 to 5, F, 4 and below. I naturally want to be playing on the map with the least vision possible, so any map with a time mechanic will automatically be set to night. In order for me to be, I guess, satisfied with the level, I need to get at least a C score. I naturally want to aim for an S or maybe an A on every map, but I know there are certain maps that are going to be very difficult to beat. So unless I get lucky, there's a good chance I'll just have to take the L and move on. We'll get to those maps when we get to them. Anyway, now that we have the boring stuff out of the way, let's see how much Slendytubbies 3 we can beat without using our flashlight. First map is the cabin. As soon as I press start game, this nightmare of a challenge will begin. Thankfully, the cabin is actually one of the easiest collect maps in the entire game. Rather linear, has a bit of openness, small and compact, and the custards are usually out in the open. Usually. The cottages are enclosed spaces that take a bit of maneuvering to quickly enter and exit, and it is very easy to get caught by Cleave or Clave if you enter these buildings. I'd recommend going for the cottage custards first, making sure that neither Cleave or Clave are chasing you. The shape of the rest of the map allows you to easily juke Cleave and Clave in most places. The two cottages by the bay are a prime example of what I'm talking about, and they're rather dangerous considering the amount of custards here, meaning Cleave and Clave are likely to be on the prowl. Also, I think I should get this out of the way now. I'm not entirely sure as to how the monster AI works, but my guess is that they target whatever custard is closest to the player? ? I'll be going off of this guess for the rest of the video. I tend to stay away from Cleave and Clave for as long as possible. As easy as it is to run around or above them, there's still the likely possibility of them destroying you. Near the aforementioned bay is this cluster of custards that is being guarded by Cleave and Clave. I decided to go for these last since they're close together and they're in an open area where you can easily juke the two monsters. An easy W. I'm surprised by how not difficult that was. I'm just hoping the next map is just as easy. Yeah, remember back when I said the next map was going to be easy? I was wrong. We go from the easiest collect maps to one of the hardest, a complete 180 in difficulty. And you thought this map was hard enough with normal gameplay? Oh, buddy, do I have a treat for you. This gameplay isn't edited. The cave is almost entirely pitch black, with 3 exceptions. Small rooms with glowing mushrooms, 2 large rooms with light filtering through boarded off entrances/exits, and the level actually has a light brown fog only visible on faraway surfaces. We are largely going to be relying off of the first 2. The third is only reliable in certain areas thanks to how far away you have to be from a wall in order for the fog to be visible. Other than these 3 though, we're practically blind. And navigating a maze, whilst being stalked by a test patient turned Hulk monster. Yay! I will say this right now, thank goodness that the custards glow in the dark. This glowing quality is one of this map's and this entire challenge's only saving graces. One strategy I adopted is walking backwards or sideways and using a light as a guide. Only bad thing is that you can't sprint if you're doing these, so if we do this whilst being hunted by Cave Tubby, we're screwed. Another strategy is by watching where the fog fades in a long hallway. For example, if the fog fades to the right, that means the hallway turns right, meaning we can sort of guess as to where we need to go. Enjoy me fumbling around like an idiot, and prepare yourselves, this is going to be a recurring theme. This footage is my first recorded attempt at this map, and it's gone surprisingly well. A lot better than all of my off-camera attempts before this. And as we will soon see, it's my best ever attempt on this map as a whole. Spoilers, but I lose pretty soon and I attempt this map multiple times and I got nowhere near as close as I did on this first run, so yeah. Spoilers, but I lose pretty soon and I attempt this map multiple times and I got nowhere near as close as I did on this first run, so yeah. Next up is the Custard Facility, which is thankfully a break from the endless non-existent corridors we were facing in the cave. There is one difficult area though, this storage shed. It's very dark and you can barely see without a flashlight. Don't go in here unless you know for certain that the Guardian/Dipsy isn't nearby. This is advice that I kind of ignored here. I rushed onto the catwalks because Dipsy just did not want to cooperate. Though, for anyone else wanting to do this challenge, make sure Dipsy isn't tailgating you. Also, don't try doing parkour off the side of the custard vat. I've tried, and if you hit the top side of the custard vat, it kills you for some reason. Also, do not think you're safe just because you jumped onto this lone catwalk off to the side of this building. Dipsy will jump onto it. Don't ask me why or how, he just does. There we go. That actually was a lot less hassle than what I was expecting. Welcome to the Fortress, a map that actually gave me quite a bit of trouble. The Fortress is a bit of a double-edged sword. On one hand, the map is fairly illuminated, including glow sticks inside smaller sections of the castle. However, the upper areas of the map can be pretty iffy. The lower sections are fairly easy to navigate. There are a couple of small rooms that could pose trouble, but they're completely lit up, so if the imposter isn't chasing us, we should be fine. By the way, do not jump into the water or the well. Doing so instantly kills you. Which I guess is a necessary evil considering you're going to be softlocked if you do jump into either of those. There are ladders on the outside of the castle that provide an easy access point to the upper floor, or act as an easy escape route. These are some of the small rooms I was talking about. Narrow and only have one exit, but again, you're fine as long as the imposter isn't tailgating you. Up this staircase leads to the most difficult part of the map. When you're up on these lean paths, it's easy for the imposter to get you considering how much precise platforming you have to do. That and the level's geometry means that receiving fall damage is very easy. Along these corridors are various rooms only illuminated by glow sticks. And maybe it's just me having skill issues, but this part of the map can be pretty difficult to navigate. I later found out a simple strategy. Try and remember the colors of the glow sticks in a given tower. Like how one had red and blue glow sticks. I can mentally check that off as an explored area. Oh, and did I mention these spiral staircases aren't lit up at all? Bruh. And yes, you can jump backwards onto the staircases to make getting up them easier. I just wish we could backwards long jump, that would make this entire challenge so much easier. Also, for some dumb reason, there are just random points where you can just instantly die for no reason, so yay, that's lots of fun. Oh, finally, this map is done! Get me out of here! Oh yay, this map! One I have a lot of mixed feelings towards. Okay, so thankfully, this map is more than doable without the flashlight. It's the map itself that's the problem. It's hard to navigate. Everything here is really samey, there are plants everywhere, and there's a lot of very uneven terrain. And oh yay, random fall damage! That's going to be a recurring thing in this challenge, sadly. There are custards on both the inner part of the map and a few on the outer sections. I would recommend going to the former first so that you have more time going for the other ones on the outer sections of the map. This is a strategy I will use more often than not, following the monster to see where a custard is. I hypothesized at the beginning that monsters target the custard closest to the player, which means that if we follow a monster we'll avoid getting caught, we can get custards without even trying. All around, a more than doable map, just rather tedious and a bit annoying. Now let's move on to the most popular map in the game, debatably. The nighttime section of this map has something very unique, a weather system. Specifically, this map has rain. Thankfully, there is still some ambient light, making this level more navigable than what you'd expect. Areas of interest here include the beach, Tubby Dome, and the cave. The last two can be rather dangerous since they're largely dead ends and Tinky Tank isn't a character you can easily juke. All of the other custards are in their usual spots, and a few are kind of out of your way, but other than that, it's the same mainland map we've all played a million times. I don't have much of a strategy here, just wandering around the path trying to find custards. Easy W. Pretty annoying, but still easy W. Another outside map, this time with clear skies, meaning a good amount of ambient light. Honestly, this map is kind of annoying, if only because I've only barely played it before, so I don't know exactly what the layout is like. There are a lot of buildings and storage containers that are very similar to each other, as well as some obscure dead ends. Oh, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the announcer is able to get you when you're in these small archways made of storage units. I don't understand how that works either. Only a somewhat difficult map, though I guess I shouldn't be complaining since we have much more difficult maps to deal with in the future. A map added in one of the most recent updates to the game, containing more than a few twists and turns. There actually is a plentiful amount of light here, with the only dubious area being a small inlet at the tail end of the map. But even then, the custards glow in the dark anyway, so there is no reason to use the flashlight here. Just make sure the Yeti Tubby doesn't chase you into a dead end. Now, this is a new map and I haven't played it that much, so I'm just going to be wandering around aimlessly, like a lot. And there are two parts of this map that have the same sort of archway area. Either that or there's only one archway area and I'm just stupid. Other than that, a small map with plenty of lighting. Easy W. A much more open-ended snow map, with almost as much lighting as the last, though with more fog. This means yet again, no flashlight required. The only difficulty is actually trying to navigate the level itself. This map is huge, and the paths are very long, not to mention the large center hill that has multiple entrances and exits. Another level where we don't need the flashlight. Well, aside from the inside of this tower, which is pitch black and an absolute pain to navigate. Though from experience, custards rarely if ever spawn here, so there's no reason to go in here. Once again, I used the strategy of following behind Yeti-Tubby so he can sniff out the custards for me. Is it a dumb strat? Yes. Is it one of the only ways I can reliably beat this map in under 25 minutes? Yes. Another arguably easy W. Again, the only issue is with the map itself. This has been a strange, easy streak so far. Time for a level that's actually difficult. The Outskirts have a lot of uneven terrain, and its night mode is actually somewhat difficult to navigate without the flashlight. Of course, there is the main complex of ruins, which can be annoying to navigate without the flashlight, but far from impossible. Lala in this level is really not a threat. She's fast, but her attack animation is very slow, so unless you come to a full stop for more than a second or get stuck somehow, you should be fine. There are also some custards in the outskirts of the outskirts, but thankfully most of these are noted by other types of ruins. An annoying map, but still far from impossible. I'm surprised by how non-problematic all of these locations have been. Unfortunately, this next map completely breaks that cycle. I'm just going to let this intro speak for itself. Oh great, how in Sam Hill am I supposed to find anything in this mess? Yes, the Possessed School is one of those maps that is almost entirely pitch black, which means more blind fumbling. Yay! Thankfully, there are more spots of light in this map than in the cave. And the map is easy to navigate, sort of, meaning we can go from hotspot to hotspot easily should we know our bearings, which is still pretty difficult. This end, we can see Ghost Girl's eyes from pretty far away, meaning we can know if she's on the same floor. However, this doesn't make the map easy by any stretch. We're still having to blindly fumble around trying to find where all the classrooms are. And also, dude, I swear there were so many instances of me just getting stuck in a classroom and blindly fumbling around for minutes on end trying to find the exit. The highest amount of custards I could get in a single run was 15. And I only did a handful of attempts because I knew this map was just not going to go anywhere. Let's just admit defeat and take the B. Now, here's an outdoors map that poses a challenge. There are a lot of destroyed buildings on this map, meaning that moonlight isn't going to filter on every square inch of this area, and this makes the map surprisingly difficult. I decided to focus on the custards in broad moonlight first, so I can have an additional time to focus on the ones inside the buildings that are going to be difficult to navigate. Thankfully, the pipe found in one lone corner of the level sort of leads up to the top of one of the buildings, providing an easy escape from Crawler Tubby. Here's a fun fact. Did you know that you can actually go inside this pipe and soft lock yourself? Pretty fun, isn't it? Also, the fact that I didn't take a single point of fall damage in this run is just the most insane thing to me. Yet another map that is pretty difficult, but also more than doable without the flashlight. The research lab is the most easy map in the entire game. Yes, even without the flashlight, which you really have no reason to use on this map anyway, so enjoy this brief gameplay montage. Oh boy, this map is gonna suck. Not only is it super dark in most places, but it's also maze-like and hard to navigate. There are these hallways that are only illuminated by spotlights, some of which are dead ends. And there's this one secluded room that has a custard in it, it's a dead end, and the only way inside is through a very well hidden door that blends in with the wall. By the way, Poe can go through said doors, and there are multiple of these doors in the level, such as a sort of underground tunnel that leads back and forth between points on the map. There is one saving grace though. Poe takes a bit of time recovering from her slice attack, so you can juke her and make some distance between her and you. Thank goodness. Another annoying map that is annoying, but also more than possible. Okay, so, this map sucks, right off the bat. Why? There's an underground portion of this map that is entirely pitch black without the flashlight. If you're just doing normal gameplay, it's hard enough to get into it by itself. Without the flashlight, it's slightly more annoying, but... bro. This entire map is just confusing and it's very easy to get turned around, especially with the part where there are these tunnels and there are entrances and exits, and it's just confusing. Also, a lot of the hallways and intersections and stairways are just narrow enough for Poe to easily get you. The highest amount of custards I was able to get was 22. An A I will have difficulty taking, but an A nonetheless. This map is oodles of fun, let me tell you. Especially since we don't have our flashlight. Navigating this level, let alone the inside of the pipes, is just absurd. And not to mention the worst part about this map, the newborns. Also known as the worst monsters to deal with in collect mode. Please let me explain the newborns for you. If these things so much as even touch you, you're instantly dead. And let's not forget the fact that they're very fast. And there are 2 of them, all of this while navigating a pipe maze, which has multiple dead ends. Sounds like a disaster just waiting to happen. The pipelines are pitch black, but thankfully they branch off at 90-degree angles, so it shouldn't be that bad to navigate. Oh, and there are these upper staircase parts in the maintenance area. They are dead ends, and you're as good as gone if you go for these while the newborns are on your tail. This map is just glorious! Word of advice, if the newborns become aggro, do not stop running. Keep on running, try and make sure to not run in a circle or get caught up on anything. And if you do this correctly, they should leave you alone. What you see on screen now is my first attempt. I got 22 custards, I got pretty lucky with the newborns not chasing me, but then, this idiot, this moron, this freaking jerk of the century, has the gall to juke me, the ankle-twisting master. A lot of other attempts after this just boiled down to them either juking me in ways I could never dream of, or them backing me into a corner. This is a time where I actually developed a strategy and kind of stuck to it. Go into the dark pipelines first, get them out of the way. Well, that map absolutely sucks and blows. I'm just praying the next map is going to give me a break. Say what you want about maps like the cave or the possessed school, but at least they were fairly linear and compact in their design. But this? Sweet mother of Neptune, this is just an absolute nightmare. I literally can't see a thing. And there are no light spots either, which means if we get lost at all, there is little hope of us getting back on the path. Speaking of which, we thankfully have just a little bit of universal light and we can just barely see the dirt terrain below us. And all of the custards are on the dirt path, so if we get our bearings occasionally and follow the path, we should be okay. Should be. But at the same time, you can get completely lost very easily. And the path is so dark and nondescript that you need to be paying extra attention to see what you're walking on. And Poseidon help you if Tinky Winky turns aggro and starts following you. At least in Slendytubbies 1, Tinky Winky only damaged you if you looked at him. He could be right behind you, and as long as you didn't make any sharp turns, you would be okay. But in Slendytubbies 3, he behaves like all the other monsters. He can attack you, and if you're in that short range, you're dead. So no time to get your bearings. Is this map very, very annoying and difficult? Yep. Is it still beatable? Absolutely. This room was initially only present in special versions of Slendytubbies 3 made for moderators. However, it was recently implemented as a normal map in a recent update. This doesn't matter anyway, since as far as I can tell, no custards actually spawn here, not counting this one for the challenge. There is no need to use the flashlight here either, just play the map like you would normally. With that said, however, this map is still just so hard to navigate. There is just one ground texture and that's it. Just the ground to guide you. It's large, it's samey, it's hard to navigate. Thankfully, Slendytubby is more than happy to sniff out the coast for me. Thanks, buddy! The penultimate challenge. A skill-issued idiot versus yet another unfortunate lab experiment. And this time without using a flashlight. Anyway, this map is... sweet mother of mercy. I'm sorry if this is just me being bad at video games, but I just could not with this map. Even on my first attempt, I only got like 9 custards. Now normally this would be just a dud run with me not being familiar with the map, but it's a sign. Now, why is this map so difficult? 3 words. Just narrow enough. The corridors are just narrow enough for juking Aerotubby to be straight up impossible, which can easily end in disaster concerning how many dead ends there are in this map. Also, if you want to try and parkour off the top of these walls, yeah. Eventually I started to develop this dumb strategy that, looking back on it now, I doubt worked. I figured that if the monster goes after the closest custards, then I should distract him. How? By leaving the custards at the beginning of the map uncollected. Yeah, I don't think I need to explain why that's dumb. Eventually I got my lay of the land and my custard counts got much better. I would go to certain dead ends and corridors at certain times, trying to stall a run-in with Aerotubby as much as possible. Many attempts went by with little success, averaging about 15 custards with the occasional unlucky screw-up. Eventually I just said, "To heck with it, I'm going to be in limbo as far as I'm trying this level over and over again." The highest amount of custards I could get was 21, which I got on 4 attempts. The final score is an A, not an S. Far from perfect, I'm not really that proud of it. But it's an L I'm willing to take so we can move on with this Heaven Forsaken challenge. Now, you may think that this is the end of the challenge, but we actually have a few more maps to go. In an update posted a while back, Zealworks ported various maps from Slendytubbies 2 into Slendytubbies 3. These maps have their own page on the multiplayer map select, and include day and night versions of the swampy Mainland, old versions of the lake and outskirts maps, and a couple others. And we're going to be playing through all of them. Better buckle up because, oh boy, this is gonna be wild. Welcome to the insane world of Slendytubbies 2, and we start with a map that is, straight from the get-go, plenty difficult. There is this weird greenish fog that covers the entire level, and it just makes this level almost hard to navigate in the way. And there is just so much long grass. Makes me wonder what a no-touching grass challenge of this game would look like. Now, you would think that aside from these 2 points, the map is just a copy of the normal Mainland map, so same strats, right? Well, mostly. Here's the thing. There are custards that are near the mountain range, completely off of the main path, completely in the middle of nowhere. I bet you know what time it is. Piggybacking time. Now, I actually tested this map a bit off camera. I say off camera because sadly I don't know where the original footage went. And I developed a strat where I go forward, collect the custards along the way, complete the tubby house, go for the other custards, and finally do the ones near the mountains. Whew, with only 14 seconds to spare. First map down, and it already feels stupid and irritating. And I'm warning you right now, it only goes downhill from here. Apparently going here once wasn't enough for our poor masochist guardian. No, we gotta do this map again. At night. The black fog... The black fog actually makes it easier to see where the custards are, kind of. But aside from this, there really isn't anything else to add here. Still a long, tedious trek, same strats as before. Another mildly irritating S-rank win. But again, it does not get any better from here. Welcome to what is actually my most favorite Slendytubbies 2 map. There's just one problem. I'm like 99.99% sure that this map is straight up impossible. Not even in the context of this challenge, just impossible, period. This map has 2 parts, the main portion and one of those stupid underground mazes like the one in the Secret Center. Thankfully though, the one in this map is lit up somewhat thanks to the fog. And don't worry if Poe spots you because, like most other enemies, you can easily juke her. Now there's this one staircase that she likes to hang out at if you collect all the other custards. There is no custard here despite her camping here a lot. I'm very certain that the custard is just below the floor and can't be accessed. If you ask me, it's very, very stupid. This map would have been an easy S-score if the last custard was there. We've gone from difficult, stupid levels to levels that are literally impossible. I'm not hating on ZeoWorks or Sean here, but come on, man. Really? Now, I guess you could get like a mercy rule here and give me an S since the custard should be right there, but I'm a stickler for the rules. A score. The downward spiral has been pretty crazy so far. We went from most levels being more than possible with a couple bad ones, consistently hard levels, and now a level that is straight up impossible. Now all we need is a level that mentally scars me, and the list would be complete. I mean, this game is overall kind of easy even without the flashlight. There cannot be something that bad, right? Right? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ultimate nightmare. This is the level that broke me. Not the impossible level, not the ones where I had to be aimlessly wandering around for over an hour. This map, that I initially thought wasn't going to be that bad. There are 3 things that make this map absolutely horrible. First of all, the newborns. I will repeat this again. If these things so much as even go within a 6-inch radius of you, you're dead. Second, the obscene level geometry, especially in the pipelines because, oh my word! These pipes are so unevenly connected, they zig and zag, and half the time you get caught up on not a wall but like the end of a pipe. Third, the lighting. Over 90% of this map is pitch black, especially in the pipes. There are light spots from one room and the outside of the map, the skybox, as well as the custards glowing in the dark, but that's all you have. Oh, and did I mention that the horrible level geometry adds onto the rage? Now, I initially just wandered around, slowly realizing the horrific situation I just got myself into. After I realized how difficult this level was, I started to develop a plan. The newborns spawn in the room off to the left, and I figure I'll try and get all the custards in the pipe so I don't have to deal with them later. I need to get all of them in this central pipeline so that they don't harass me there. Also, I need to be careful with this one custard near the closed off entrance since it's very easy for a newborn to spot you. And there were multiple instances where I forgot this one custard off to the left, and they decide, hey, there's a custard here. Oh hey, there's an idiot here, let's go harass him and slap him. So my plan here is to get the pipe custards and then hop out of the other side of the map and then go from there, where I can go through the other part of the map with the custards and then the room where the newborns spawn. At least this was my plan. I tried for minutes. Hours on end trying to execute this plan, but usually one thing or another goes wrong. And as a testament to just how bad this map was, I remember my game crashing at least once while playing this map.
Nope.
It was that bad. I was too slow, I got caught up on a wall, I didn't jump far enough. It's like, if I'm a millisecond off, it's just a guaranteed fail. I had to go through hours of footage to get this metric, but my best attempt was 23. 23 custards. And when I died on that specific run, I just felt like quitting right then and there. So, are you guys ready to see the rest of my failed attempts? I know I'm sure not.
Nope.
After hours of attempts and so many days of procrastinating, I eventually decided to take the L. I was done. I'm sorry, I know this map is possible, should there not be some ghost custard I would bound somewhere, but I'm just at my wit's end and I cannot do any more of this. I'm tired, and I just want to move on to the next level. Final score is an A. It's a very painful A, but an A nonetheless. I know this level is possible, and I may revisit it in the future. Who knows, maybe a fellow Slendytubbies fan will try and do this challenge themselves. In which case, more power to you, and I applaud you for trying to take on such a challenge. But enough of this stupid limbo, let's just move on. Let's look at the normal training maze from a design standpoint. The feeling of being lost, as well as this maze seemingly being made for Nuno to train his creations, makes you feel uneasy, especially with how horrifying the map's background music track is. Now let's follow the usual Slendytubbies 2 route and take all of that and make this map the most stupid thing ever. That's this map. Yeah, look. I'm sorry, but I'm not about to spend hours and days and weeks trying to figure out this one level that I very seriously doubt I'm gonna beat anytime soon because... I mean, come on, just look at this. This is nothing short of absolute insanity. 2 attempts, and I got 4 on both of them. And I don't care. F score. I'm more than comfortable taking it. I am not doing this level. I am sorry. Wow, the lake, but with even more darkness and obstructive foliage. Wow, how tubular. So right off the bat, this map is really weird. The custard counter just does not want to show for some reason. And no matter how long I played, Dipsy just did not want to show himself. And yet, by some miracle, I was able to get 25 custards on my first try? My guess as to why this map is glitched is the fact that Dipsy just does not spawn, so... hey, I'll take it. Also, when the timer would run out, the game would hang for a second, longer than usual, and then just kick you back to the main menu like normal. However, I at first did not realize this, which is why there's so much extra footage for this map. I would still consider this map problematic since, again, there's darkness everywhere. A lot of the custards are just in the middle of nowhere. And another problem is that some of the custards are hidden away in these little nooks and crannies in the rocks, so make sure you remember to check those. Anyway, it's a weird W, but a W nonetheless. here we are. The final level. A level that is appropriately one of the hardest challenges of this entire run. A true culmination of everything that has gone wrong with this challenge. Unfair geometry? Check. Lots of darkness? Check. A relentless and annoying monster? Check. Unfair custard placement? Check. Now for my first few attempts, as per usual, I was getting a lay of the land, and I later developed the winning strategy. Do the custards in the center of the map first, so that I have as much time as possible to get to the custards on the outskirts of the outskirts. And here's where things get very messy. Unlike the other version of this map, there are no other ruins, meaning you actually have to wander around aimlessly to get these custards. And oh my goodness, this was tedious and dumb. Most of the time I was just solely focusing on the other custard, which took up most of the map's runtime. To get an idea of just how time-consuming this was, the custards in and around the ruins usually take 3 minutes at most. So I'm left with 22 minutes, more than that if I play my cards right, and only once was I ever able to get the remaining custard with those remaining minutes. It is that bad. Either that or I'm bad at video games, who knows by this point. So I quickly develop a strategy where I get the ruins custards first and aimlessly wander around the remaining area, hoping and praying that I find the others. And one time I died while jumping on this plateau for no reason, and I'll just let the footage speak for itself. Yeah, remember when I said that this map was the culmination of everything that has gone wrong with this challenge? This includes out-of-bounds custards, which explains why Lala loves hanging out by the plateau if you've been paying attention to the footage. Unfortunately, this level is impossible with the 25 custards. But let's just take the A score. Let's watch together my true final attempt at this map, where I collected the 24 possible custards and end this heaven-forsaken challenge once and for all. And ladies and gentlemen, we've done it. We've finally done it. After many hours, tons of deaths, lots of screaming, so much procrastination, we did it. We suffered through every single Slendytubbies 3 map without using the flashlight, Man, it feels so good to finally be done with this challenge. I am exhausted. So, now that we're finally done with this challenge, let's tally up our scores. And if we take the total amount of custards we got on each map, combined with the total 675 custards possible, we get an 88.5% score, a high B. I'm honestly somewhat disappointed that the score is that low, but at the same time, I'm honestly a little surprised I was able to complete as many maps as I was, especially maps like Slendytubbies Classic and Secret Facility. And being able to properly play through all these maps, especially without the flashlight, has made me develop a sort of appreciation for a good amount of maps in this game. And a disdain for others. And, as a way to celebrate the completion of this challenge, let's see how many custards we collected. And so, as of the completion of this challenge, we now have 3,424 custards. That is wow, just wow. Now, let's do something that I've been waiting to do ever since I started this challenge. Spending all of these hard-earned custards on all of the accessories. And we have just over 1,000 left over. That is wild. And that's everything. We have played every Slendytubbies 3 level without the flashlight. And boy was it an experience. Again, playing through this game has made me realize just how much can go into designing a map for a horror game. And it's made me gain a new level of appreciation for Slendytubbies as a whole, and how many of its maps are designed to be either effective or fun gameplay-wise. Anyway, I'm going to leave things off here. Peace on everyone and have a wonderful day.